Good morning and welcome to Football League World TV. My name is Ned Holmes and I'm joined by my Football League World colleague Toby Wilding to discuss the 6 nominees for the February League One Fan Awards. How are you doing this morning, Toby?
Yeah, really good. Thanks. Obviously, we're getting towards that really crucial stage of the season now, aren't we? So, we're seeing teams come to the fore, and obviously they've got key players who look like they're playing some really key roles in sort of their side's recent sort of jump up the league. So it's going to be good to really highlight a few of them now over the course of the show.
Absolutely. As you say, we're getting to the point of the season where players really starting to put their hands up and be counted and have the sort of influence that could be key by the time the end of the season rolls around. Well, the vote for the Football League World League Fans League One Player of the Month for February is open now, and you've got until 9 a.m. tomorrow to cast your vote. You can head to footballleagueworld.co.uk/fan-awards or click the link in the description below to cast your vote. Before we get started, as always, just a reminder to please do like this video, subscribe to Football League World TV on YouTube, and of course, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Is there anyone we've missed out, and who do you think should win this month? Well, I'll run through the 6 nominees to start off then. Rotherham United defender Michael Ihikwe, Sheffield Wednesday centre-back Jordan Storey, Oxford midfielder Cameron Brannigan, Gillingham midfielder Ben Thompson, Portsmouth forward Ronan Curtis, and Cheltenham striker Alfie May. Toby, Michael Ihikwe for Rotherham United. It was a massive month for them, February. They kept that charge going, 6 wins out of 7, conceded just 1 goal all month, and he was massive for them. 37 aerial duels won, 28 clearances, and there's obviously been a lot of talk of players like Dan Balaza, Michael Smith, but he's something of an unsung hero for them, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, it was a really big month for Rotherham. They are the team that, as league leaders, the big target for everyone else. Really, they are the side that you sort of expect teams to up their game when they come up against, because they know how sort of tough an assignment this is going to be, and that obviously you would expect puts pressure on the Millers, certainly from a defensive standpoint. But as you say, just the 1 goal conceded in 7 games. If you've got a record like that, then you're still in an excellent position to pick up results. And obviously that goal that they did concede was in a 1-1 draw with the side directly below them in the table, Wigan Athletic again. So that shows sort of the quality that was needed, even just to get past Ihikwe and the rest of Rotherham's defence. But as you say, absolutely, I think it's probably generally the case in most football circles that the attackers, the people who are getting the goals that prove decisive, get the headlines. But it is right that you highlight at times the contributions that the likes of Ihikwe make at the other end of the pitch for sides like Rotherham, because they are so important. And if you've not got the defence making those sorts of huge contributions that Ihikwe was making for the Millers over the past month of February, then sort of the goals that are coming at the other end are somewhat less relevant. So yeah, absolutely, he's become a crucial player for Rotherham, certainly over the course of the past few weeks.
Absolutely, and statistically, it's hard to argue with Ihikwe's contributions helping Rotherham keep 6 clean sheets in 7 games and concede just 1 goal across the whole month, and that sort of solidity will be huge, you'd think, towards Rotherham's promotion push. Well, Jordan Storey is our next nominee. The Sheffield Wednesday defender joined on loan, of course, from Preston North End in January, and no coincidence, Toby, that his arrival has sort of come at the same time as the start of a run that's really seen them build up a sort of head of steam, and they've surged up the table. 39 aerial duels won from Storey. He's barely sort of put a foot wrong in helping Wednesday keep 5 clean sheets last month, and it's hard to think really of a better signing made by a League One club in January, isn't it?
Yeah. There's definitely not many that are going to really contend with Storey there. I mean, as you say, he's come in. It can always be difficult to slot into a new side and into a new starting lineup, as he has done here, obviously, at that midway point of the season where, you know, players are already settled in, they know the system they're playing, they know the teammates that they're linking up with, and then, you know, that can be a bit of a curveball almost when you get that new player sort of coming in that you've got to adapt to, and they've got to adapt to you. And, you know, Story's sort of done that seamlessly. Nevertheless, he's settled in really well with Sheffield Wednesday. I think, you know, the fact that he had been getting a decent amount of game time in the Championship for Preston over the past sort of season or so, that will definitely help, because, you know, he was reasonably solid there for North End as well. And, you know, that did sort of make this quite an impressive signing for the Owls in my eyes. I was quite surprised by this one, that they were able to get it done, I think, to some extent. And it's absolutely paid off. And I think Ryan Lowe sort of said when that move was confirmed that he wanted Story to come back and, you know, show that he can play a part for Preston next season and beyond. And, you know, when you look at what he's doing for and sort of shore them up at the back, which again is important for them when you consider the fact that they've not got that sort of prolific goal scorer that a lot of other teams in that promotion mix have got. So, you know, that again makes the defence all the more important, and Story's been a huge part of that. So you would have to say that he's done his chances of proving Ryan Lowe right and making that case for a starting spot at Preston in the Championship from next season a great deal of good with what he's been doing at Hillsborough so far.
Absolutely. He's obviously become a really popular figure amongst the fans at Wednesday, but you'd almost think that the sort of stronger his performance is for his new club, the less likely it is they'll have any chance of bringing him back in the summer. So before we move onto the midfielders, then just a reminder that the vote is now open. You can head to footballleagueworld.co.uk/fan-awards to cast your vote, or if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, you can click the link in the description below. Onto the midfielders then, Toby, and Cameron Brannigan, someone whose all-round impact for Oxford last month was impossible to ignore, in fact, and that's what sort of earned him a place on this list. He's a player that, you know, has really showcased his quality in League One over the past few seasons, but last month a particularly impressive one for him. 4 goals, 22 tackles. He just shows. I mean that in a nutshell is everything that he offers Oxford, which is everything in that midfield.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, outstanding. As you say, it's that sort of contribution. It comes at both ends of the pitch, doesn't it? You know, he's getting them goals that have really sort of kept Oxford in that playoff, potentially an outside shot of the automatic promotion picture. It's been huge to that, but also from a defensive perspective, as you say, that 22 tackles, it shows the sort of work that he's willing to do, and that the contribution he's making in terms of providing that extra line of protection in front of the Oxford defence, keeping a bit of pressure off them. And, you know, when you've got a midfielder that can make those contributions in both sorts of areas of the pitch, it can be so important for a side in terms of the pressure that it takes off the rest of your team. And it's interesting, as you say, that this is coming in February, you know, just after a January transfer window where he was sort of heavily linked with quite a good deal of interest from the Championship. And obviously Oxford stayed firm and refused to let him go, despite that chance for him to play at that higher level. And that impact that he has made for them over the course of February.
Yes, certainly reaping the rewards now, Oxford. Well, our second midfielder nominated is Ben Thompson at Gillingham. Perhaps statistically, you know, he doesn't size up to some of the other players on this list. A goal and 7 tackles for him, but Thompson's form in February, his sort of industry in the centre of the park is symbolic of a Gillingham side that produced an upturn in form to really breathe new life into their hope of League One survival this season. Obviously, he left his sort of contract cancelled at Millwall to link up with Neil Harris at the ex-Lions boss at Gillingham, and that's just proved a fantastic move, Toby, hasn't it, for both him and the club?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned there sort of linking back up with Neil Harrison. When that appointment was announced, you thought that's a really good appointment for Gillingham, for a club in the relegation zone in League One, to get a manager with Harris's sort of championship pedigree is really impressive. And obviously that has, it seems like that has paid off in terms of helping them bring Ben Thompson to the club. Obviously, given the pair's past connections with Millwall, where they've worked together before, and that'll certainly be important in terms of ensuring that Gillingham can get the best out of Thompson while he's at Priestfield. And I think if that does happen, as it should, then it's going to be a huge sort of asset to Gillingham between now and the end of the season. I mean, things didn't really work out for Thompson at Millwall, which was, perhaps just bad luck for him, because he was sort of capable of doing things in the Championship for them, and it just seemed to be a case that he never got that opportunity at Millwall, despite the fact that he never seemed to do a great deal wrong. It was just those chances didn't come with who was ahead of him in the pecking order. And I think as well, you sort of look at the performances he previously produced on loan at Portsmouth at this level. That shows how important and how good he can be at this level. So to get him for a League One relegation battle is a huge boost, and especially sort of when you consider, I was sort of looking when that move to Gillingham for Thompson was announced. There was a lot of Pompey fans who were disappointed he wasn't making the move back to Fratton Park to help them with a playoff push. So that sort of shows how impressive a signing this is for Gillingham, and how important Thompson could be for them, given there is this general acceptance that he can be playing much further up the pyramid than what he finds himself doing with Gillingham at the minute.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that there was certainly a fond feeling amongst the Millwall fans when he left, and I know Gary Rowett felt like he really had to justify that decision. But more than anything, just fantastic to see Ben Thompson back playing regular football and certainly enjoying his football. And if you think either Cameron Brannigan or Ben Thompson deserved to be named the Football League World fans League One Player of the Month for February, head to footballleagueworld.co.uk/fan-awards, or click the link in the description below if you're on Facebook or YouTube to cast your vote. The vote's open now and it runs until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Well, the first of two forwards are on this list this month is Portsmouth Ronan Curtis. I think it's fair to say, Toby, by his own high standards, this season hasn't been, the best for him, but certainly looked to be close to that top gear again in February. 2 goals, 2 assists as he helped sort of put Portsmouth really start to find their feet and build some momentum at a great time, considering where we're heading towards the business end of the season. And he's obviously been out for a few games serving a suspension, but he's due to be back now. And certainly if he can carry that form from February over, he's finding his best at the perfect time for Portsmouth, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we sort of mentioned at the top of the show, didn't we, about clubs who are really starting to hit form at the right time, and that coinciding with certain players also discovering their peak level, and that certainly seems to apply here with Curtis, as you say, 2 goals, 2 assists. It's really coming through now. That he only had 3 goals in the league across the whole season prior to last month. So that shows in itself just how much he's sort of really stepped it up during February, as you say, at the perfect time, because this is where you can see clubs sort of go on that run that really launches themselves into the top 6, and then that just gives them a massive lift for a potential playoff campaign. So having Curtis back for that is so important. And as you say, the suspension that he's just coming back from, that feels like it's perfectly timed. Portsmouth coped pretty well without him, but they've now lost Marcus Harness after his red card at Accrington at the weekend. So having Curtis coming back in to sort of fill that gap that Harness is now going to leave just feels perfectly timed. And he's had that little bit of a break with a suspension, so that too could actually almost work in Portsmouth's favour, given they were able to. I got him a bit. He's had that bit of a rest So, he's going to be desperate to, really prove a point and get going at that top level again. So, yeah, that is a really exciting prospect for Portsmouth to have him back, because we've seen over the last few years he can be one of the most dangerous attackers at this level. So, yeah, you feel like that is going to be a massive asset for Portsmouth over the next few months, because again, that they're a club who will feel that they've been at this level for too long, and Curtis is one who potentially can have a big part to play in them changing that.
Absolutely, and we'll move on to our final nominee on the 6-strong shortlist, and it's Cheltenham striker Alfie May. Toby, there's being in a strong vein of goal scoring form, and then they're scoring 8 goals in 6 games in February, isn't there? I mean, it's a phenomenal record. It obviously included 4 in the 5-5 draw against Millwall, and an assist as well, and just too much for opposition defences to handle in February.
Yeah. I mean, Cheltenham obviously coming up from League Two last season, that they've been really impressive in terms of they've quickly established themselves back in League One. There's no threat of relegation for them now, which is probably what they will have wanted at this stage of the campaign. And Alfie May, over the course of February, has made a huge contribution to that. As you say, the four goals against Wickham. He got a winner against Sunderland as well. So that there's some big results in there against some of the top teams. Sunderland obviously being one of the biggest clubs at this level. Wickham were playing Championship football last season, and he's going out there and doing that against them. That shows just how effective he is at that level. And I was looking at his numbers before we came on air, and that's 17 league goals he's got to now this season, which is more than what he'd scored in the past 2 League Two campaigns for Cheltenham combined. So that shows just how good he has been for the club over the course of the season and the last month in particular. So yeah, he's been really impressive. And again, it just reinforces how good a bit of business it was for Cheltenham to get him signed to a new contract until the summer of 2024, just back in January. They got that done at a time when, there might have been a few admiring glances at him, and, they've got his future secure now. And immediately he justified that and showed how important that was with the goals he got last month.
Absolutely. I'm sure they weren't predicting such a quick payment of their investment, but it certainly has come. And as you say, Alfie May nearly doubling his tally for the season with 8 goals and an assist in February. So if you think Alfie May or Ronan Curtis deserve to be named the Football League World Fans League One Player of the Month for February, head to footballleagueworld.co.uk/fan-awards to cast your vote. Or if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, click the link in the description below. You've got until 9 a.m. tomorrow to cast your vote. Well, that is everything from myself and Toby on the League One shortlist announcement today. But Alfie Burns will be your host at 12 for the debate on 3 League One players who have surprised us this season. And then at 4 p.m, you'll be in the capable hands of Football League World Chief Editor Sam Rourke for the EFL weekend preview. Just one final reminder then, the vote's open until 9 a.m. tomorrow. You can click the link in the description below or head to footballleagueworld.co.uk/fan-awards to cast your vote. That actually leaves me to say thanks, Toby, and thanks everyone for watching.